Hi guys, today we are going to be making a mini wooden kicker. First though, we need to start drawing out the design. This rectangular box here is going to be the main structure of the jump. Later on we'll be adding feet for it and slats across so you can ride your bike up it. Now let's get started. Before we start, we want to sand all the wood we're going to use so we don't get punctures. Let's get started. Now we are going to measure out the section for this part of the jump. So this piece of wood we're about to measure and cut here is going to define the overall length of your jump. So I'd say about that would be a good size. So if you've got a pencil, you can mark out where you want to cut there, and then if you want you can mark out the second cut line by doing the same process. Let's start cutting our first piece. So here is our first cut line. We're going to use just a standard saw to cut it, but be very careful around saws as they're very sharp. Now we're going to mark and cut these two pieces of wood for our jump. As you see, these are the two pieces we have just cut for our jump. Now this is going to be the piece that we're going to use for the gap, this bit. So now, this is however long, wide you want your jump to be. This is how wide you're going to cut this. So I reckon that this around 85 there would be a good width for our jump. So it'd make it there, that big. So if we get the ruler and then mark it out, then we can measure it again, mark the point here, drag the ruler along, and then mark again. Now we've marked out our points, let's get cutting these, and as always, be safe with sharp tools. Now we can start to see our jump coming together. This bit here is going to be where the takeoff is. These two are the pieces we've just cut. And I've left a gap here for a specific reason of where the legs are going to go for the jump. Now, let's start drilling holes and then screwing this all together. I've got some screws here and a drill with a piece that will fit the screw. And now we're going to drill through this bit of wood into this bit of wood and screw it in. Once you've done this first one, you'll find it a lot easier to do the rest. So let's do it. Easier. So now with this screw and a drill with a Phillips head screw attachment, we can screw this in to affix this. Just then, you saw me screwing in all of these battens. So this is now going to be the takeoff of the jump. Now onto the legs. With this, we're going to need some pretty heavy duty stuff to keep it all in place. So depending on how high, what elevation you want your jump at, you angle it, and I'd say that's pretty good. That's a pretty good angle. So you look, have a quick look down. I'm going to mark it with my nail bit. So then get this out, ruler out, and there's my nail mark. Mark it, measure, it's about 11 over there. So now we've done that, we can cut this out and make the feet. These are the two pieces that you just saw me cut out. Let's just rip off some of these nasty little bits. Now, we can really see our jump coming together on this, but these are going to be the feet of our jumps. I'm not entirely sure if you can see this on camera, but they'll go slot in there quite nicely. Now, what we want to do, we'd want to put a screw, or one, maybe two screws through this bit of wood into here, and maybe one down through here into there, just to make sure it's secure. Now let's go and do it. I'm now going to show you me doing one, and then I'm going to do the rest in a time lapse. So let's draw this hole. At this point, we might find it easier if I can find one of them. Here, found it. Might find it easier if you get a clamp to clamp it together, so when you put the first screw in, it doesn't move. So now we've done that, this is securely clamped in, we can put the screw in without any worry of the wood jumping around. Now for the really exciting bit, where the jump really starts to look like a jump. Now, for these slats, there's quite a drop off here. So for this first slat, you want to overlay it by about an inch. And now, all you need to do, pencil, mark that, and then with the ruler you've got, continue it there. So that's going to be our first slat. And what I sometimes like to do to give it a nicer look is get a spare bit of timber, put it there, and then this up. So there's a nice even gap. Not a nice gap between it. But really all you need to do is measure out another slat. There. And unfortunately, we don't have enough for last slat, but I've got some more of this exact wood here. So all we need to do is line up at each end and make the marks. So mark it down there, and then bring this down, line these two up, line that up. There. I'd say 4 slats is enough, but if you made your jump very big, then you might need 5. Now the jump is really starting to come together. These are the slats you just saw me cutting, and as you do, we have an off cut, so you probably won't be able to see this, but we can use it at the front to give it a nicer look. Now let's start attaching these at regular intervals. As you see, I haven't attached these already, they're just loosely placed down for guidance. I'll be attaching them with the same drill bit and slightly smaller screws this time, because you don't need big screws on these pieces of wood. Now this is going to be the surface you're riding up, so you can make them as close or as far away as you want, but this is roughly my preference as you don't use up too much wood. Okay, let's do this. So now we're pretty much done with our mini wooden kicker ramp. Now, if I just move this all out the way, you can see that I've screwed these in, and you've just seen that from the time lapse I just did. They're pretty sturdy. And one thing that I didn't really say about is this back plate I put in. I just thought it made it finish it off and look nicer. So right now I am just going to give it a bit of a sand, clean off, round some of these edges, get rid of all of this because it's not good. You might get splinters or punctures, and then we should be done. One of the last things I forgot to do is put a piece of batten between these two bits to make it more sturdy, because they're a little bit offset because my measuring is absolutely terrible. So there to about there. Quick line with this, then pencil, then mark it there. So now all I need to do is cut that, screw it in place, and then we will be done. Now this is the finished jump. It's pretty good, and as you see here, I've put in that little support, and it's pretty sturdy. Now looking at it from the side, it's really cool, but the only downside is it's quite heavy and it's not very portable. I'll just put it against here so you can get a nicer view of it. I'd say it's pretty good for just mucking around, getting a little bit of air. So next video we're going to go out and test this and just do some other biking stuff. Okay, see you next time. Bye.